This video is designed to guide candidates and reviewers through reappointment, tenure, and promotion review at San Diego State, and to communicate essential information about its guiding values, criteria, and procedures. My name is Jennifer Mazecki. I'm a full professor in the economics department, and I underwent tenure and promotion in 2006 and 2010. The principles of tenure were set down in the Association of American University Professors' 1940 Statement of Principles on Academic Freedom and Tenure. Freedom and economic security, hence tenure, are indispensable to the success of an institution in fulfilling its obligations to its students and to society. Tenure is a way we co-construct a space of freedom and security in which truth can be pursued in service to the common good.
My name is Joanna Brooks, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Faculty Advancement. I underwent tenure and promotion in 2005-06, 2007-08, and 2011-12. Before we get into the details on processes and policies, let's review briefly the values that inform RTP. We're responsible for supporting our colleagues' professional development. That means sharing accurate information, providing copies of relevant policies on criteria and procedures, delivering candid, constructive feedback in those years 2, 4, 5 periodic evaluations, ensuring that everyone has access to mentoring, and assessing and renovating our RTP climate to ensure that the process is meaningful, equitable, and welcoming to a diverse faculty. We're also responsible for making sure RTP lines up with principles of shared governance. Respect the boundaries of the process by maintaining confidentiality and only reviewing what is included in the WPAF. Communicate essential information about criteria and procedures and ensure that candidates receive helpful feedback and mentoring right up to the date the WPAF closes. Accountability. Reviewers should hold ourselves accountable and hold our colleagues accountable as well to the criteria and procedures outlined in policy and monitor the ways implicit bias may impact our evaluations. Criteria for tenure and promotion are established by a vote of the tenured faculty and memorialized in department, school, college, and university policy files. The criteria for tenure and promotion from the Senate policy file are as follows: excellence in teaching contextualized within a continuing process of reflection and adjustment, a consistent pattern of continuous growth in research, scholarship, or creative activity evidenced by a well-developed, coherent, and focused research plan or artistic vision, and service to the university, the profession, and the community. For promotion to full, superior contributions to teaching effectiveness, evidence of a strong and coherent program of continuous growth that demonstrates not only expertise, but also impact on the body of knowledge, and a higher level of service and participation in shared governance are expected. Reviewers, please keep a copy of the criteria in the deliberation room. Review them together before deliberating and refer to them as necessary. Evaluate only by the established criteria, separating out personal impressions, implicit biases, or interpersonal conflicts. In the evaluation of teaching especially, remember to apply the criteria not just to these scores, but to all teaching-related materials presented in the WPAF. Process guides are online at fa.sdsu.edu. Before the review season begins, candidates notify chairs, directors of intent to seek tenure and promotion. Staff then creates a case for the candidate in Interfolio. Candidates should upload their dossiers or working personnel action files to Interfolio by September 27th. The chair, director, or a department school RTP committee member should review the uploaded WPAF to ensure that it is complete, accurate, and formatted correctly, following the validation checklist available at fa.sdsu.edu. Please follow as well any additional validation steps required by your college, department, or school. Changes and corrections can be made to the WPAF until the closing date on October 14th. After that date, no additional evidence can be added except through the late add process. In October, reviews move through the school and department level to the college level in November, December, then to the university panel in January, and eventuate with the provost in April and May. February 14, 2020 is the deadline for late added materials that become available to candidates after the WPAF closes. Reviewers, use criteria appropriate to your level of review. Department level reviewers, department policy files. College level reviewers, college policy files. Follow letter formats and use sample language provided at fa.sdsu.edu when writing your recommendations. And if you discover discrepancies or anything missing from the file, just contact your college RTP rep. Implicit bias, preconceptions about a person based on their perceived identity, are a fact of human perception. They can negatively impact our colleagues' lives and careers unless we learn to manage them. The following are National Science Foundation promising practices that reflect SDSU expectations for mitigating implicit bias in the evaluation process. First, look around the room. Assess how well your committee reflects the diversity of your department, college, discipline, and SDSU. Reflect on how that might impact your deliberations. Task one committee member with making sure all the recommendations for mitigating bias are implemented. Number two, discuss criteria before beginning and apply them consistently. Base evaluations on criteria and evidence, not on impressions or assertions. Ensure that each case receives sufficient time. Research shows that time pressure can cause evaluators to default to implicit bias. Evaluate each candidate on an inclusive rather than an exclusive decision-making process. Think about the entire package of an individual's contribution to the profession. Review carefully the role the candidate has played in their collaborations. Underrepresented faculty often prefer collaborative work. Look carefully at supporting materials to ascertain the extent of the work the candidate has performed. And finally, be mindful of the balance of power among committee members. Differential power and status among committee members can influence RTP discussions for good or for ill. Committee chairs, please work to facilitate balanced dialogue and to prevent any individual from dominating deliberations. Changes to the RTP process for academic year 1920 are as follows. The PDS has been updated by a vote of the Senate Faculty Affairs Committee and with the approval of outgoing Provost Johnson. The candidate statement is now divided into 3 sections, one for each criterion area. The table for student evaluations has been redeveloped to include both median and mean scores to mitigate implicit bias. And a new section allows candidates to document how they have been responsive to diversity, a criterion for RTP that has long been in the Senate policy file but has never been actually included in the RTP process. Candidates will be asked to provide a statement on responsiveness to diversity, answering the following prompt. The Senate policy file indicates under reappointment, tenure, and promotion criteria that because the university provides access to underrepresented groups as well as traditional groups, the faculty shall be responsive to diverse student populations and needs through teaching, scholarship, research, and service. Describe your efforts to be responsive to diversity, maximum 1 page. This is an opportunity for our colleagues who dedicate a lot of their professional time to diversity causes, to mentoring, to advising, to projects that may not be captured adequately under the teaching, professional growth, and service heads. To be clear, no candidate should be denied tenure and promotion on the basis of their responsiveness to diversity alone. However, candidates who do have something substantial to say about their work in support of diversity should be recognized. That work should be made visible and valued. We're also implementing this year special considerations for faculty impacted by the PSFA building closure. All probationary faculty were contacted by the university, and if they requested, they were granted a tenure clock extension to allow them to reset and restore any disruption to their research or teaching caused by the building closure. Our PDS form has been updated to allow candidates to flag evaluations for courses that had to be moved due to the PSFA building closure. Reviewers, when you come across a course with flagged scores, please consider that these scores may reflect facilities-related issues beyond the control of the faculty member. Review qualitative comments in the student evaluations to assess.
I needed to know the real impact of this article, so I used Google Scholar to look up how many times it had been cited.
I appreciate that you want to be thorough, but we need to evaluate only on the basis of what is in the packet on Interfolio.
The contract requires reviewers to respect the boundaries of the process by evaluating only what is in the WPAF. This protects the integrity of the process by making sure all reviewers see the same evidence and that this evidence is known to the candidate as well.
The evidence shows they were a very good teacher at their last university, but only what they've done here at Sdsu really counts.
Actually, we need to consider their whole professional record, and if there is evidence that shows they have sustained their quality and productivity since coming to Sdsu, that may be sufficient.
The policy file says that the entire professional record of the candidate shall be considered, including accomplishments prior to appointment at this university. Work developed or sustained while serving at this university shall be essential to the award of tenure or promotion. Candidates must show that they've sustained their accomplishments since coming to Sdsu, but accomplishments that fall within the review period must not be discounted just because they were achieved at another university.
Never mind what the policy file or published criteria say. Just between you and me, I'll tell you what really matters.
Not all information is good information, even when it is provided with good intentions. Do your homework. Get input from multiple mentors. Obtain copies of your department, college, school, and university policy files. Study them, as well as relevant materials at fa.sdsu.edu.